I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2024-2025 Fairfield Leadership final presentations and completion recognitions. Before we start our presentations, I'd like to thank each of our member organizations that have sponsored a participant in our program this year. We very much appreciate it and truly believe you're helping to support the creation of future leaders in our community. We know that it takes time and resources to send somebody once a month for half a day, so again, very much appreciated. I want to take a moment also to really thank Cheryl Barber, our Member Services Director from the Chamber. She is our lead on this program, and really thanks to her dedication to managing the details and communication for Fairfield Leadership. She does a fantastic job. If we could, let's give her a round of applause. Also want to take a moment to thank our guest speakers that we've partnered with throughout the year. Janet Cooper from Fairfield Medical Center starts us off each year with Strength Finders. Janet wasn't here, but we appreciate her. Matt Weidman from Fairfield Federal. He does our Crucial Conversations training. I want to thank David Uhl from Fairfield DD. He does training on the question behind the question, as well as best practices in public speaking. Thank Dr. Sanel Bach, who does our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Belonging training, Diversity in the Workplace. Jessica Coleman from MRA, who did a presentation on building trusting relationships for us this year. We had Tom Stoughton, who's the treasurer of the City Council, who presented on the dark side of leadership. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our volunteer facilitators. These are individuals who appreciate what we're doing with the program, have maybe been through the program before, and still want to be part of it. And so they're volunteering to give their time back, and that's our facilitators, David Uhl, who couldn't be here today, and Christian Glazier. So let's give Kristen a nice round of applause. I want to take a moment, too, to thank our county commissioners and the city of Lancaster. They've provided certificates of recognition for your achievements today, so each person will get a certificate from the county and the city. I'd like to take a moment also to thank Jenny Sturgeon at the Fairfield County Workforce Center. The Workforce Center is typically our home for most of the year, and we really appreciate her help in them hosting us and preparing the facilities for us. Also, really want to thank Fairfield Medical Center for not only hosting us today, but they hosted our first session when we did Strength Finders as well out at the River Valley Center, so we really appreciate them opening their doors to us. Finally, I want to take a moment to thank those who have participated in Fairfield Leadership Program this year, taking time to be with us once a month, a half day away from your work responsibilities. This has been a fantastic group of enthusiastic and engaged individuals that the Chamber is very proud of, and we're proud of the work that you've done in the last year, so thank you for taking the time to participate in our program this year. The Chamber believes that volunteering and giving back to the community is a very important part of being a community leader. Therefore, each year we invite nonprofit organizations to apply to the leadership program to get assistance from one of our leadership teams on projects and initiatives that support their organization. We build small work groups of 4 to 5 leadership participants and assign them to a nonprofit to work on projects for that organization starting in November and typically ending about this time each year. However, as you will see, in upcoming presentations, the relationships that are built between those nonprofits and their Fairfield leadership team often goes beyond the program year and typically end up being long-term volunteers and even new board members for these organizations. So, as we get started, of course my computer went to sleep just in time, so let's see if we can get it back. All right. So let's take a look at some of the nonprofit partnerships and presentations from 2024-2025 program year. And thank you again for joining us. Don't forget to look for these new leaders out in our community. So we're going to start and kick off today with our first team, and I'll go ahead and introduce them and have them start making their way up as I pull their presentation up. But this team has partnered and was assigned with the Amanda Harvest Festival, and so you'll learn a little bit about the festival and what they were working on with their project.
Hi there, my name is Riley Tate, and I, along with Charlie, Amy, and Robin, have been on Team Amanda Harvest Festival for this leadership class for the last few months. Let's see if I can. Okay, so the Amanda Harvest Festival was created by a group of individuals who wanted to invite the community to help them help others by way of raising money for the local food pantry and for the local garden. So the proceeds from the Amanda Harvest Festival went directly back into the community and helped feed those community members. However, as with most things, there were a few challenges. Amanda Harvest Festival is rather new. This will be their third year. So they have, the last 2 years, have had the issue with lack of supporters, so lack of community involvement and lack of low attendance. So there hasn't been a lot of community support or community members coming to the festival, and then lack of entertainment that was like the car show organization. So nailing down things like that to drive people into the festival. So those were some of the major challenges. And Charlie's going to talk about how we assisted.
Thank you, Robin. So to help mitigate some of the challenges the Amanda Harvest Festival was facing, our team put together some recommended solutions. First, we discussed a new brochure. The brochure was very well put together, but we suggested some minimalization of the contents. We thought it could bring more attention to the features of the festival itself. We suggested reaching out to the Amanda Village to be added to their website. This in turn can create community awareness. We suggested creating a website of their own. This would help showcase items there may not have been room for in the brochure. For example, a board of director information and history of the festival. This could potentially eliminate the need for a brochure altogether, creating cost savings, all the while opening the door for a broader network opportunities. Chamber of Commerce membership. These benefits include increased visibility, access to resources, discounts, and advocacy. Outreach to local organizations. This helps increase support and community collaboration. And rearranging some of the events of the festival itself. This would help establish better flow and overall efficiency of the event. Okay. Some no-cost recommendations. So as we are aware, some of the previous noted recommendations could come with a premium, so we wanted to include some no-cost options for them. We talked about redesigning the brochure altogether. It was recommended to redesign the advertising of the brochure by maybe scaling down the organizer profiles and focus more on the event schedule. We looked at offering better directions on how to volunteer and donate, including civic organizations, and promote social interaction. There were reorganization suggestions to the event. Here we discussed rearranging the sequence of events to maximize attendance. We even looked at shortening the hours on Sunday, which is the last day of the festival. We thought in hopes of this would help promote better attendance during the festival's peak hours and moving the cake auction. So they have a cake auction. We looked at moving it closer to the lunch during peak hours. And last but not least, we talked about adding a scarecrow contest with prizes. This is a great opportunity for participants of all ages, and it also really helped incorporate the festival's theme. And they could charge an entry fee, and we just thought it'd be an overall good opportunity for them. So. And Amy will talk about the cart organizer.
Good morning. So if Amanda Harvest Festival would like to move forward with having a car show organizer, we do recommend them working with Patrick Estes with Trident Auto Spa. Patrick has experience in organizing car shows and events and will take care of all the registration and event details. He will coordinate with the festival on cost and their portion of the proceeds for the event. All right. And we also recommend further community outreach for ideas and support. This could be outreach for volunteers, donations, fundraising, etc. And due to the mission of the Amanda Harvest Festival, we recommend contacting the Fairfield County Agriculture Center for outreach opportunities. We suggest considering also an antique show for the tractors as an event during the festival in the upcoming years. And a contact for the antique tractor show is Doug Shaw. His information is on the slide there. We do have some additional known cost public outreach as well as low cost public outreach. And to elaborate on the community outreach efforts to enhance public awareness and attendance. The no cost public outreach is the Kiwanis Club of Lancaster, Lancaster Rotary, the Ohio Association of Food Banks, and the Fairfield County Farm Bureau. A low-cost option as well is reaching out to WLOH for their advertising needs. They requested that probably about a month in advance to contact them and to set up advertising with WLOH at $8 for the month of September. So we thought that was a very reasonable price to get a lot of advertising out there. Next up, Robin will speak about chamber membership.
Hello. Two of the things that Charlie touched on, I wanted to elaborate a little bit on, is we recommended a chamber membership. Chamber membership for nonprofits, $350 a year. It also offers a nice resource, educational support facilities. There's 500 plus members, so it's really covers your local target area. Also, they have the annual banquet. If any of you have not attended, I do recommend it. It's May 8th. It gives people an opportunity for an hour and a half to support your information. Usually they have a receptacle for business cards and a door prize. This will also give you an additional database. The next avenue that we recommended, which is a little bit more pricier, let me figure out how to do this here. Here we go, would be a website. We reached out to Bill Shipperow from URPC Help. He's a chamber member. Bill was wonderful. He spoke with us for about 40 minutes. He said he would sit down and talk with anyone who would like to go over a website. It's $45 an hour. He said your basic website would be 5 to 10 hours in length. This will offer the outreach beyond local. As most of you know, Hocking Hills is just down the road from us. A lot of people will coordinate their weekend at the Hocking Hills. They'll also look for events that are taking place while they're here. So we felt that the website would do a broader outreach, as well as give people an opportunity to find out more about the festival. Also have a way for them to donate and volunteer if they would like to. And it also would be a great place to have their event calendar. Okay, so the desired outcome is to, of course, create visibility, awareness, promotion, to have the car show added to the event, and increase, the profitability. Thank you.
All right, great job, team. We'll have you step over here and we'll introduce each of you. You'll just step over kind of in front of the screen. All right. We have Robin Ballfacer, Amy Allman, Charlie Mollett, and Riley Tate. Okay, next up, I will invite our team that worked with the American Red Cross Southeast Ohio chapter.
Okay. So. The next ceremony. Okay. All right, good morning, and thank you all for being here to join us for our presentations. My name is Sarah Brocious, and I am joined with my team members, Angel DePeel, Addison Culver, Amanda Enderly, and Colin Tripp. Together, we are known as the Fairfield Five. The name was graciously given to us by Jeff Redfield from the American Red Cross, with whom we had the pleasure of collaborating on this project, specifically with the Central and Southeastern Ohio chapters. The American Red Cross has recently opened a brand new fixed donation site right here in our community with a special focus on platelet donation. You can see the details of the new site up on the slide. With an existing presence in Fairfield County, this organization is well positioned to encourage local donations. Community leaders, including Lancaster's mayor, are actively supporting and promoting this initiative. This new fixed site is a valuable addition not only for Fairfield County residents, but also for nearby areas like Athens, who previously had to travel to Columbus to donate platelets. I'm going to turn it over to Angel, who's going to tell you about our project objectives.
Thank you, Sarah. So our objectives with the Red Cross project were twofold. Our first objective was more immediate and involved assisting in the ribbon cutting ceremony that they hosted for their fixed site. And the second objective is our long-term plan creation for sustained generational donor awareness and continued financial donor support. As stated, we assisted with their ribbon cutting ceremony for the fixed site, and we did that by creating community connections with business entities and educational centers, as well as initiating a press release for the event. I'm going to turn it over to Addison Culver, and she's going to talk about our long-term plan.
As with any business plan, longevity is a key component to consider. So to meet the growth goals and projected donation amount for the project, donor awareness must be established and it must be a priority for the fixed site. So while reaching people across social media is a catch-all type of marketing, authentic connections are made through storytelling. By taking the angle of generational donors, which was our focus, the Red Cross can market to large-scale entities like educational and healthcare institutions where people come from all walks of life and relationships that make them think differently about the impact of blood supply and how it can affect their loved ones at any given time. And because Lancaster is such a close-knit community, the saturation of advertising within more prominent organizations will trickle down to those small businesses that are local, where anyone and everyone has the opportunity to give. Social media messaging will be a primary vehicle for this awareness. So engaging audiences through the missional and testimonial type of approach is key for appealing to the masses and really focusing on the message of when you give, others live. And now I'll pass it on to Amanda to discuss our community outreach.
Thank you, Addison. So, along with digital marketing, we suggest that the American Red Cross continue to connect with local community entities and have regular community outreach. The idea is to reach a larger variety of community members through things like public schools, colleges, and local healthcare facilities to host either resource fairs or educational sessions. Many schools and county agencies already host regular blood drives, and there could be potential to expand their reach. The hope is that by reaching this population of folks is that the American Red Cross could recruit blood ambassadors that could then promote the blood donation center within their agency or school and spread awareness, hopefully reaching a younger generation of youth. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Colin to wrap us up.
Thank you. So as we approached this project, our team quickly realized, yeah, we're on the right page. Our team quickly realized that creating long-term momentum meant going far beyond just raising awareness. We needed to help form real connections between the Red Cross and the Lancaster community. We didn't just recommend partners, we actively reached out, we made introductions, and ensured that local organizations weren't just invited to the ribbon cutting, but that they were engaged. This moment wasn't just symbolic, it was strategic. Whether it's hosting workplace blood drives, providing volunteers, or simply spreading the word, these partnerships can transform the fixed site into a consistent, community-powered resource. Our goal was to plant those seeds now so that the Red Cross had a strong foundation to build upon for many years to come. And as we wrap up this campaign, our hope is that the impact doesn't end here. We've laid out the next steps. Whether you become a blood donor, encourage someone else to give, or even serve as a blood ambassador, every person who gets involved with this fixed site makes it more than a location. It becomes a lifeline for the region. So the Red Cross is ready. The site is open. Now it's up to all of us to keep the momentum going. For more information, we encourage you to visit the official website and explore how you or your organization can play a part, because it only takes one person to start a ripple, and together we can build something that lasts. Thank you.
Well done, team. All right, I'll have you step here to my left. And you know, I just realized we have the entity in which each person's represented, and I figure you all might want to know that too. So we have Angel DePeel with OUCU Financial Credit Union. Colin Tripp, Lancaster Campground. Sarah Brocious from Fairfield Homes. Addison Culver with Cryle Communications. And Amanda Enderly with the Fairfield County Juvenile Court. Congratulations. And just to take a step back, since I didn't mention the entities in the previous round, Robin Baltaser was with Fairfield County Auditor, Amy Allman was with Park National Bank, Charlie Mollett, the City of Lancaster's Department of Transportation, and Riley Tate with Dagger Law. All right, next up, I'll invite our team that worked with Connection West.
Good morning, everyone. So we are the Connection West team. My name is Morgan, and then with me I have Jeremy, Nikki, and Crystal. So of course we were assigned to Connection West, is who we paired with. And Connection West is a nonprofit here in Fairfield County. They're actually located on Garfield Avenue, right across from the old Anchor Hawking. They do have a mission statement, so I'm going to go ahead and read that. We are focused on fulfilling our community's present needs while equipping individuals and families with the fundamental tools for generational change. So generational change is huge for Connection West. They look to help families be stand-up members of our community for years to come. To do that, they offer services and programs such as after-school programs. They have re-entry programs, and then senior activities as well. They also house the Bottoms Up Diaper Drive, and they also have a full-service food pantry within their building. And then another thing they do, they have a community breakfast every single Saturday where members in need can come have breakfast. And then from there, they can walk right down the hall to the food pantry and get any groceries that they may need. To find out more about Connection West's programs, feel free to visit their website. It is up there. It's connectionwest.org. Just keep in mind that Connection is spelled with an X, and that's .org. They have a lot of information about the different services and programs they offer. And with that, I'll pass it to Jeremy, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what we were tasked with.
Thank you. So overall, what's the main reason that we are here today? We are here today because through this project, we were tasked with helping Connection West with one of their upcoming projects. That project happened to be creating a fundraiser for this year and to hopefully continue every year after this. So we had a couple ideas. We ended up with the idea of pickleball, one of the fastest rising sports here in the country. So we decided to really hone into that and go, what's something that's really popular, what's a way to get outreach, and what's a way to make Connection West known. Obviously, from the last slide, you could see that it started up in 2017, so it's still a really new nonprofit. There's still really a lot of great stuff going on that Morgan was talking about. And so how do we amplify that? One way is through brand awareness. Another way is through profitability. So brand awareness through this event, trying to get the name of Connection West out there to the community so the community can hear a lot of what the great things that they're doing to help Fairfield County residents, and also some volunteer ways as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to make a annual profitable fundraising event to be able to help fund a lot of these great programs going on. So those are the objectives of what we had, and I'll pass over to Nikki.
Thank you. So with this being the first year with a pickleball tournament, we are building this from scratch, from ground up. So with that, with anything, you have some obstacles that popped up. The first being securing a location. Oh, thank you. That was the biggest thing, because you can't just play pickleball anywhere.
The first place that we had suggested was the YMCA Recplex on Locust Street here in town. It has enough pickleball courts to host the event. However, they also host gymnastic meets and have all the equipment, so that was something that they would not be able to move. And we felt like it got in the way, as well as with what they were wanting with the community, food trucks, vendors, that sort of thing. The parking lot was just not feasible to hold what we expect. So the next option was Olive Dale's new pickleball courts here in the city. That would have been a wonderful location to hold this. However, that comes with a cost, and that cost was too much for the budget, and they would not get any profit from the fundraiser, which is the main goal. So we ultimately wound up with Connections West. They have a gym inside their building, and we felt that was the best option. It's free. They have all the amenities, the space that we would need to have the food trucks, bounce house, everything. So that is what we went with. One of the other obstacles that we came with was acquiring volunteers and donations. So we had suggested to them that they contact the chamber and get with them to have a press release out, put on their calendar to get it out to the community, as well as suggested participating in the chamber trade event in May. That way they can promote the event with all of the attendees there. And last, we had to finalize the cost of things, food vendors that we were going to have, prizes, and sponsorships. So we all agreed that it would be a $35 per person fee with a t-shirt, as well as creating a flyer with a QR code that would make registering for the event super easy and accessible. They will be doing a 50-50 raffle, and as well as collecting donations at the event for their organization.
The tournament will begin at 2 p.m. on Sunday, May 25th at 625 Garfield Avenue in Lancaster. There will be brackets for beginners as well as experienced players. The registration fee is $35, and it does include a t-shirt. Players can register by scanning a QR code, emailing, or calling Connections West. This is a family-friendly community event, and it will also offer a kids zone that includes inflatables, and concessions from Fine Smoke Barbecue will be available to purchase. Connections West is seeking sponsors with 3 levels of sponsorship available. A gold level begins at $500 and includes a logo on a tournament banner, a booth at the event, and recognition on social media platforms as well as press release. Silver starts at $200 and includes a logo on tournament banners, acknowledgments on Connections West website and social media platforms. Bronze begins at $100 and includes a logo on event day signage, as well as a post of appreciation on the Connection West social media platform. All proceeds from this event will support the purchase of a van for the Connection West youth program. This will provide access to additional off-site experiences and connect with even more young people in the community. So whether you're playing, cheering, or sponsoring, Connection West would love to have everyone join in, rally together for a great time and an even greater cause. For the conclusion of our program, we're going to go back to Jeremy.
So expectations, opportunities. So what was our end goal? Our end goal is similar to what I was mentioning before, that we are able to build community partners, that we are able to build an awareness of what Connection West does, not just for volunteers, for the people that need help, the entire gambit of it, to be able to create additional partnerships between Connection West as well as companies, organizations, other nonprofits here in the area. Heck, even before this event, I had never heard of Connection West before. It's been really enlightening for me as well. So with the end goal of it being more people know about Connection West tomorrow than they did today, so that's really what our end goal is. So brand awareness, and then again, the second part of that being building out a annual fundraiser that can help add additional revenue and profitability to Connection West going forward. So we're just hoping that we're the building blocks of that first time. The first time is always the hardest time for an event, so build out that first time, see how we can help, so that way it builds a great foundation for years and years of success of Connection West, helping as a community, building in profitability to be able to make sure they help out with all the great programs that it has going on and be able to provide a sustainable future going forward in those different ways. So with all that to say, we appreciate you all being here and thank you for your time.
Another well-done presentation. I could have you guys just step to the left here. All right, the Connections West team. Jeremy Byers with Action Coach Central Ohio. Crystal Walker with Fairfield County the Auditor. Nikki Meadows with the Lancaster Police Department. And Morgan Windsor with the Savings Bank. Congratulations. All right, next up, I would like to invite our team that worked with Geneva Hills. Just in case you didn't know what team they were on.
Hit that drop down. Hit the arrow down to move the slide. Good afternoon, everyone. Over the past several months, we've had the privilege of collaborating with Geneva Hills and the honor of working with their executive director, Clayton Boltzer. Geneva Hills is a faith-based summer camp and retreat destination that provides 350 acres of unique and beautiful space for events, retreats, and outdoor activities. They are dedicated to creating life-impacting experiences that strengthen families, communities, and in Christ, and an atmosphere that is both enjoyable and uplifting. The scenic location offers a lodge that will accommodate 125 guests with a commercial kitchen, a bunkhouses, and a fire pit area. There are numerous outdoor activities like hiking trails, a stock pond with kayaks and canoes, a pool, laser tag, axe throwing, and archery area. All this makes Geneva Hills a prime venue for community engagements and events.
All right, now that you've learned a little bit about our organization, our team, it consists of, who's up there first? Karen, she's with Fairfield Federal. Ryan Davis, he's with Kumler Collision. Myself, my name's Chelsea McClelland. I'm with Meals on Wheels, or the Senior Hub, Fairfield County. Candy Fisher with South Central Power, and then Jennifer Valentine with the Fairfield County Health Department. Our assignment. Geneva Hills is growing. Over the past 3 years, they've grown 112%. They're looking to expand their camp facilities, and our assignment was to help develop sustainable and effective fundraising strategies to support their vision. They have the Trail Ahead campaign. This campaign is a project designed to build a multi-purpose facility. The facility will be a reliable year-round space for chapel and recreation, and along with the recreation facility, they're looking to build 2 new 20-bed cabins that will allow groups of up to 150 campers. Their goal this year was to raise $100,000.
So our team really needed to focus on trying to find some fundraising strategies that would not only be exciting for somebody, but also get them kind of brand awareness. I don't know a lot about what you guys did in school, but when I think about Geneva Hills, I think about it when I was a kid, and now it's kind of back and better than ever. So we were like, how can we get this to different audiences and make sure their kids are getting to experience the same exciting things we did when we were children as well? So some of our ideas were to have kind of a spaghetti dinner, something that we can get a community involved with, an organization that would have our family together, eat, break bread together. It's something that also provides family values but gives them something interesting to get into. We also had a fishing derby recently that we had given the idea to. They had that just the Saturday before Easter, which seemed like it was a really cool idea. A lot of families, a lot of time to get together on that weekend. We also suggested a 5K hike and a run because with all of that beautiful property, I mean, where else would you want to be except for out there in the woods, getting to be, again, with your family in your local community. And then we also want to kind of do maybe a food truck night with concerts from local vendors that we can get out here and kind of get their name known, and then it's kind of a twofer, a win for both of them. And then we also are doing some fundraising with restaurants, which I don't know if a lot of you have ever seen, where you go out to a restaurant and they make that specifically Geneva Hills night, and that kind of generates just a little bit of revenue without doing too much. I think what we were all most excited about and something that we really started to get into is what we wanted to call our corporate games, but finally came up with a great name, the Trailblazer Corporate Games at Geneva Hills. Now, I don't know if any of you watch The Office, but you gotta kind of think about the Olympic Games without all of the silliness. I mean, you can have some of the silliness, but not all of it. And what they would do is actually host like team challenges, up to 5 people on one team or even 10 people on a team. And these challenges would, include archery, hatchet throwing, human foosball, I think that sounded really cool, laser tag. They have all kinds of different things, but the best one I thought was their relay race, which would have canoeing, a puzzle, and then some that's like sort of physical team challenge to really see if your business is like staying together. So then with the corporate challenge, you would also have like lunch, and then there's going to be an award ceremony afterwards, but it is the best way to get your business to work together and find like maybe some team building opportunities as well. So be on the lookout for that coming up on social media and sign your teams up today.
While we fully expect these events to help raise Geneva Hills' goal of $100,000 for the 2025 year, we also do recognize that post-project initiatives do need to take place to help continue that growth in the community. We have come up with about 4 different initiatives that we think would help Geneva Hills grow. The first being is just increasing their marketing resources. They would also suggest doing a collaboration with local universities, doing more social media, and also more collaborations with some local and state businesses. So as far as the marketing goes, what we would suggest Geneva Hills doing would be doing more promotional shirts to the campers for free, getting a sponsorship to do so, doing bracelets or doing like bumper stickers to help get the name out there a little bit more. Not a whole lot of people know about Geneva Hills. It's a really good kept secret here in Ohio. The second initiative that we would have would be their social media. We found that they do have a very good presence of social media as far as different platforms goes, but we did feel they were kind of underutilized. Some of the platforms had not been updated in a couple months to a couple years. And we also suggested possibly partnering with TikTok. I know a lot of kids like using TikTok, their short videos, and it would help Geneva Hills get their name out there and the beauty and nature that they have to offer. We also would suggest partnering with local universities like OUL and Ohio Christian. A couple reasons for that. We believe that they could benefit both the student and them from an internship with those universities. We suggested possibly a forestry major to help as a hiking tour for not only the students going through the woods, but also the local community as well. Marketing intern, as well as a social media intern, and as well like a choral or a ministry major to help with the camps as well. And then at the end, we also suggested partnering with local businesses and doing events with the drive-in movie theater here in Lancaster and passing out pamphlets there, especially for kids' movies, working with the YMCA, which they already do have a partnership with, but kind of expanding that partnership. And we also suggested possibly reaching out to some of the Buckeyes players from this last year. A lot of them are very vocal advocates and Christians. So we believe that by doing these, they can reach their goal for 2025 and well beyond that and expand their marketing there.
All right. So you can see they've already started fundraising. They've brought in just about half of their goal so far. They've done several fundraisers, trying to get one event a month so that we can keep the momentum going throughout the year. We have some future events planned. As Candy already said, we have the exciting Trailblazer corporate event. That sounds like a lot of fun. We've got the Moonlight Canoeing, Community Day, Craft Show, a bunch of things coming up. So, keep your eyes out for all these things that are coming up. Geneva Hills has a really great opportunity to grow and thrive. We're excited to see the impact these initiatives will have on their fundraising efforts. Through community engagement, unique events, and strategic marketing, we believe they can achieve and even surpass their fundraising goals. We want to thank Geneva Hills and Clayton Balzer for allowing us to work with them. We've really enjoyed our time working on this project, and we hope our ideas prove helpful to them in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. All right. You guys, step here. Left here, great, thank you. Okay, we have Candy Fisher with South Central Power Company. Jennifer Valentine with Fairfield County Health Department. Ryan Davis with Kumler Collision. Karen Osborne with Fairfield Federal. And Chelsea McClellan with Meals on Wheels. Congratulations.
You do.
Oh, you do.
Mm-hmm. You can either use the arrow or this.
Okay, our next group who made their way right up here, appreciate that, worked with the Keller Market House, so I'll turn it over to them now.
All right, so my name is David Boyer, and we did partner with the Keller Market House. The group members that we have are Michelle, who unfortunately could not be here today. We also have Tammy and Lisa and Judy. So just to go over a history of the Keller Market House. So this really began with the Fairfield Growing and Agricultural and Economic Development Plan that was initiated by the Fairfield County Regional Planning Commission and was conducted by students from Ohio State University. So of that survey, they found 82% of respondents cited freshness as one of their most critical drivers in purchasing foods. Over 50% of those surveyed said convenience was one of the main barriers for purchasing local foods. And then 90% stated that they were somewhat interested in or extremely interested in a local food hub. So with that, the Fairfield County Local Food Council was developed, and then they came with the Lancaster Fresh Market, which was formed in 2015. So a little bit about Keller Market House. So Keller Market House opened up in May of 2016. How many people have been to the Keller Market House before? Okay, a lot of people, nice. So the Cumberland Market House is located downtown across the corner from Double Edge Brewery. They feature local foods, wines, meats, dairy. They've recently increased the capacity of fridge space that they do carry as well, which we'll get into a little bit in our project. They also have workshop classes, and clubs are able to use the other side of the Keller Market House as a meeting space. And then they also have a small scale commercial kitchen that's located in the back. They also have undertaken the Lancaster Farmers Market, for those that are not aware. So that started back in 2018. So every Saturday during May through October in downtown, just behind Keller Market, they have the Lancaster Farmers Market. And then local vendors offer their services or products there as well.
I'm going to go over a little bit of the challenges that we are dealing with. So there's increased amount of goods being carried and sold. So what we're trying to do is also increase individual vendors coming in, increasing foot traffic. And then the Rotary Club has quite the issue there when they're having their meetings. You know, they have to move everything on that side. They have the meeting, pull out the tables and the chairs, and then put everything back together again. And it's limited space for them. So they are ever expanding as well, so they're looking for increased space to have their meetings too. So this is leading to additional space challenges. So as you can see, when our team went up to look at the upstairs space, it's down to the exposed brick, and it was cold that day when we had gone. So you're looking at very expensive to bring this up to code. So, you know, we're looking at insulation, new windows, drywall, HVAC, heating and cooling. We're looking at electrical, plumbing, all of that. And you guys know what it's like just having repairs done at your house. So imagine what it's going to be for commercial. And also, you know, can we get the product with everything right now? So funding, we were focusing more on funding at the beginning. And the funding that we were focusing on more was maybe the Rotary Club can help out, time and talents from their experienced individuals, private donations from other companies, maybe it could be a tax write-off, maybe it could be a sponsorship, or grants. Once we had a talk more with Christine, she said, focus more on what this room could be used for. So what we decided to do was send out a QR code survey and find out what, you know, the community want. We wanted to be fiscally responsible and also being responsible to the history of this building. So I'm going to have Tammy go over that with you. I think I missed a slide. There you go.
Thank you, Judy. We collaborated with Aaron Harvey at Keller to come up with a short 6-question survey to gauge the needs and the wants of the community for that use of that upstairs space. So this is what it looked like. We did the QR code. It was linked to the survey and made it available to Keller patrons as well as local businesses and other community members. From that, we received 86 responses, including a mixture of individuals, local businesses, located inside and outside of downtown, nonprofit organizations, folks from the local gaming community, and local government. The survey kicked off with asking folks if they would be interested in a new meeting space or a shared workspace downtown. Approximately 62% of those people said they would like to see a co-working space, with 21 responding, maybe. 13% said no, and the rest added their own suggestions for the utilization of the space. So we found that individuals who took the survey indicated they would both use a co-working space weekly or a couple times a month, and would prefer a quiet, comfortable space with Wi-Fi, no obligation to purchase food or drink. And one individual mentioned that she would like to use the space for her photography business.
So the folks that took the survey for the larger groups in mind said they would like to see a flex space that would be affordable and easily accessible with AV capabilities and possibly a kitchen for classes or demonstrations. They also were concerned about the time of access, hoping to see that it would be available after 5 p.m. when people got off work. Amenities that both groups were interested in include childcare options, quiet work areas, and comfortable seating. And I don't know which. And this is just all of the survey results that we received. I'm not going to read that to you. So when asked for other comments about interest in a shared space, some of the replies included a space for local politicians to host town halls, and a space that would embrace the historical building and keep the share space in a historical look with the wooden floors and a cozy vibe. They would like to see a portion of it to be more permanent for vendors to be able to set up upstairs, and the comfortable seating area seemed to be across the board. Someone mentioned that it would be a beautiful bar or cafe or rentable event space, or a maker space or an incubator space for small creative businesses. One option for this space would be to lean into the artisan community a little more and host an artist or artisan at residence and provide studio spaces for workshop space for upcoming artists. So the feedback indicates a strong preference for a versatile, affordable, well-equipped space that can cater to a variety of needs, from professional meetings to social events. Key amenities that would make the space appealing include comfortable seating, kitchen access, reliable Wi-Fi, and flexible space configurations. And I'm going to pass it off to Lisa to talk a little more.
Thank you. All right, so after the conclusion of the survey, we found that around 60% wanted some type of event space or community space. And that led us to the questions are, what are the current community spaces we have, and how are these areas actually utilized? We have some here at the hospital, David was saying, that seem to not be utilized. We want another meeting space, and basically what will ours offer at Keller Market House, and how can we make it different? Those were our questions. So I contacted Amanda at downtown Lancaster. We were still a little bit worried about the funding part of this. And as Kristen said, she said, you guys need to nail down a use for this before we even tackle the funding. So sitting down with Amanda was interesting. She's actually in Rotary, so she uses the Keller Market House all the time. And she's also on the Keller Market Board. So she's definitely vested in our project. So we sat down with her and we came up with a maker space. The second floor can serve as a space for local artisans and crafters to hold small-scale meetings and programs, fostering greater engagement with the arts and business. So I feel like that really brought it to fruition, that we had that artisan theme of what the Keller Market House stands for, and allows those artisans to come up and maybe even have a cooking class or a painting class. And David's wife does cookie decorating. So we could basically use the Keller Market House, bring the fresh ingredients up, and hold those classes. And it's large enough, we want to make sure that we have a meeting space for the Rotary, as they were going to head a lot of the funding. So what was the purpose? We came up with the maker space. We want to keep that theme, bring it upstairs. And what are the tools that are needed? What is the tool? We need funding, right? So like I said, Amanda was going to work with the Rotary and try to get that funding. We wanted to make sure we had a large space. They said that earlier we discussed how the Rotary had their meetings. They were having to lay out 50 chairs, put the chairs up, and they wanted a nice space where they could just come, sit down, have the meeting, and go. And I feel like the kitchen, the meeting space would all bring that together for them. So, all right. That was the end of our project, and thank you guys for listening.
All right. Well done, group. All right, our Keller Market House team. We had David Boyer with Fairfield Medical Center, Tammy Gunther, City of Lancaster's Community Development Department, Michelle Claypool, Friendly Bremen Banking Center, Judy Tate Scully from Fairfield County Health Department, and Elisa Kerr with Ideal Promotions. Congratulations. Next up, I'll invite the Lancaster-Fairfield County 4th of July Committee team up.
We're ready. Our group had the privilege of working with the Lancaster-Fairfield County 4th of July Committee. Today we'll provide some background on the committee, the scope of the project, and recommendations moving forward. I would like to introduce our team. We have Kelsey with Maywood Mission, Aaron with the Lancaster-Fairfield Transit, Casey with Fairfield Medical Center, Riley with Fairfield County Health Department, and I am Mary with the Vinton County National Bank. Lancaster and Fairfield County have been celebrating Independence Day for over 225 years. The committee is dedicated to providing a quality celebration for the community, honoring our country and freedoms. All are invited to participate in this free event. Annually, the celebration kicks off with a parade in the morning with the festivities following at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. Activities include music, rides, and concessions, and the day wraps up with a spectacular fireworks display.
The challenge that our team faced was coming up with a succession plan for the 4th of July committee. Currently, the president, who's led the effort for years, takes on the majority of the work. He manages the logistics, coordinates all the key contacts, and keeps the event running smoothly. The rest of the committee, also approaching retirement age, has been equally committed and deeply involved throughout the years. The concern is that when they step away, much of their knowledge and expertise could be lost, and without a clear plan or structure in place to guide the next generation. There is little in the way of formal documentation to support a leadership transition. And while the responsibilities of the committee are generally understood, most roles aren't clearly defined and there are no bylaws or standard operating procedures in place. This makes it difficult to delegate tasks or train new board members and risks losing valuable institutional knowledge. Another major hurdle is volunteer recruitment. Since every position is volunteer-based, it's hard to find people who can invest the same amount of time and passion that the current committee brings. At first, we considered having a single agency take over the committee entirely, but quickly realized that that may not be entirely realistic. So we shifted our strategy. We focused on creating a pathway for new volunteers to get involved, learn how the event is run, and gradually step into leadership roles. The goal is to preserve the tradition while preparing for a smooth and sustainable transition.
So I'm going to discuss a few of the strategies that we put together in order to present those to the committee. After meeting with Dave and Dale and discussing the recruitment needs of the 4th of July committee, our group collaborated on a thorough list of strategies for success and next steps. We acknowledge that many of these strategies may be something that the committee could engage in a stepwise fashion, although we've put together tools that could allow the committee to use them immediately for the current year's recruitment efforts. The first strategy that our team focused on was the creation of board job descriptions. One of the first observations that our team made was in regards to the large number of tasks currently completed by the board president. While the current president has a strong grasp on the management of all of the tasks required to make the event happen, our evaluation noted that sharing the tasks amongst the group would allow for a shorter time commitment for the individuals taking on the president and board member roles. The next strategy proposed includes an emphasis on volunteer recruitment and retention. Our team has compiled a list of local organizations and businesses, including nonprofit and religious organizations who could potentially have employees with interest in volunteering for event functions and for the board president and for the board positions. The list includes contact information for each organization, and we'll share some more detail about that on one of the next slides. The last proposed strategy addresses committee branding. We have formulated several branding strategies that can be utilized when approaching the individuals in the organizations with the goal of educating the community on the committee's mission and the benefits of taking part. These branding strategies include a PowerPoint presentation that provides a brief explanation of the opportunities for the potential committee members and a flyer that can be passed out during the event itself and beyond. We believe that the best venue for marketing the committee is during the event itself. This allows others with a passion for the tradition of the event to understand the need.
Thank you, Casey. So as Casey mentioned, one of our main priorities was to divide the responsibilities of the board president into a 4-member board. This allows the president to still feel supported and maintain his status as president, but begin his transition. First, we gathered all the meeting minutes and notes from Dave and developed an annual timeline of all the planning items so we could get our bearings. From there, we were able to develop standard operating procedures for each board member. This allows for potential new volunteers to visualize the total time commitment and responsibilities assigned to them when they agree to participate. These documents are organized by target completion dates over the course of the year to allow the volunteers and board members to schedule accordingly and hopefully make the task seem less daunting. The hope was to streamline administrative processes, formalize expectations, and create a visual guide to reduce confusion in the word-of-mouth instructions. The next deliverable we created was a list of local organizations and nonprofits for the committee to meet and grow relationships with to recruit new board members and volunteers in the future. A challenge identified in this process was volunteer retention, as we previously mentioned, and finding new groups of the county that would be interested in participating. We found that longevity planning is a priority for this community, which may require involvement from local organizations in the future. This list includes over 30 organizations and leaders divided into categories for a targeted approach. This includes community and civic groups, schools, churches and faith-based organizations, and local event planning committees. The third deliverable is a PowerPoint for the 4th of July board members or president to take with them when they meet with the organizations that we had listed out. This PowerPoint highlights the committee's values, purpose, and ways to get involved. The last deliverable created was an outreach flyer. This was created to be dispersed to community members for volunteer member recruitment and to promote participation. Similar to the PowerPoint, it summarizes the committee's missions and values, the benefits of joining, how the event is funded, and is intended to spark conversation about this longstanding community tradition. We did print everything out and provide it in a physical binder, and we also are giving them a flash drive so they can edit the copies digitally as it grows.
All right. So for future suggestions, we have growth on their social media presence. By doing this, we would just be able to reach more people in the community, and it also allows us to easily share new information about the festival and any postings about volunteer opportunities that we want to offer. The next one is to visit our organizations that are on our list, the nonprofits and all of them. But this allows us to, again, recruit new members. And then automate services. So that would be technology to perform routine tasks like answering questions or routing requests. So that could be like on Facebook, if we get a message sent to us, it would send an automatic reply back. It kind of helps take the workload off some of the members too. So in conclusion, our goal was to aid the committee and provide them with the resources and tools that they need so that way they can continue to flourish. And then we want to thank the committee for allowing us to help them and see what they can become.
Right, thank you. Well done. All right. So the Lancaster 4th of July Committee consisted of Kelsey Allison with Maywood Mission, Aaron Kennedy, Lancaster-Fairfield County Public Transit, the police were supposed to stop him down below. Mary Cox with the Friendly Bremen Banking Center, Casey Fowles with Fairfield Medical Center, and Riley Ernst with the Fairfield County Health Department. Congratulations. Next up, I will invite the team that worked with Lutheran Social Services of Fairfield County Food Pantry.
Thank you so much. I'd like to take a minute and just thank you all for attending today's presentations. It really does mean a lot to us to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our team and also the nonprofit that we had the privilege of working with. My name is Sheena Gibson with the Friendly Bremen Banking Center, Bryce Long with JC & Company, Gina England with Fairfield Center for Independence, and Leslie Dancho, Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities. The nonprofit that we were partnered with is the Lutheran Social Services Food Pantry, where we worked closely with both Jewel and Missy. We were actually informed today that they recently, the Lutheran Social Services, did join the chamber, so that's very exciting news. I'm going to go ahead and take this time to give you a little bit of information about who they are and what they stand for. There is no better place to start than their mission statement. Their mission statement is as follows: creating a better world, serving people in need. Lutheran Social Services is a health and human service organization that provides housing, healthcare, and emergency assistance. This is done with a variety of different services, including the one we're here to talk about today, the Lutheran Social Services Food Pantry. The pantries exist to provide access to healthy and nourishing food to families who may be experiencing food insecurities. The LSS food pantries do have a strong community impact in Central Ohio, as they currently service approximately 2.2 million meals to over 60,000 individuals through over 84,000 visits to their pantries. They are able to achieve this by operating 12 distribution centers across 7 different counties in Central Ohio. The Fairfield County location alone has served over 258,000 meals to 7,452 individuals through over 10,300 visits. Next, I'm going to go ahead and ask Leslie to come up to talk about our project challenge.
So our project challenge was to identify areas of need to increase service reach. And we did this in 2 kind of main ways. So the first is that LSS wanted to really consider possibly expanding the services that they provided within our county. And so whether that was a physical location or utilizing their mobile food pantry in an additional area. And the second way was to review their budget and their current inventory that they provide at their pantry and really compare that with customer priorities and needs. So when considering possible food pantry expansion, the first thing that we did was that we wanted to identify all of the current food pantries across Fairfield County. And so we were able to utilize 211 and the Mid-Ohio Food Bank to create a list of all the different locations. And we also gathered some additional information on each pantry, including their pantry schedules and any information on who can utilize their services. So sometimes, and what we found is in a lot of the rural county or rural locations, you have to be a resident of that area to even use your pantry. So that obviously limits who else can come use the pantry. So it makes for some very limited hours for others to utilize it. So once we had a list of all the different locations, we went ahead and plotted it all on a map so that we could easily take this and compare it to all of the locations that people were traveling from to utilize the LSS food pantry in Lancaster, which Bryce will talk a little bit more about.
So fortunately, whenever anyone shows up to the food pantry to go pick and see what food that they need, they have to check in, enter their address, a few details like that. So with that, we were able to actually put together a heat map of zip codes of all the individuals coming to the food pantry. If you have eyes that can see that, the dark blue is the 43130 zip code, so right here in Fairfield County. But as you can see, it really spreads out across a lot of Central Ohio, if not far west, far south. There's over 2,500 individuals that are coming to the food pantry from Fairfield County alone. But what we noticed is they're coming from other counties. 11 south and southeastern counties of Fairfield County, folks are coming to LSS food pantries. And as previously mentioned, those are the counties that have food pantries that are limited in either you have to be in that school district, you have to live in that area, something like that. So we realized there was certainly some emptiness in the south and southeastern areas of Lancaster. So from that, now that we knew where individuals were coming from, we wanted to see what they had access to and what they needed. Fortunately, LSS every year does do a survey of all of their members that come visit, and we received 191 total survey responses. A lot of the questions in that were very good, very actionable data, and we did notice, though, some of the questions were a little more open-ended, and we discussed that those were questions that could be a little more targeted to have data that can be utilized a bit better to see what needs that LSS may have. We specifically looked at 6 different questions. One question I did want to point out, though, is that the majority of individuals coming to LSS food pantries said that it is a far better food pantry than any others that they visit, so definitely want to give them kudos for that. We also noticed that about 25% of individuals struggle with transportation to and from the food pantry. So if they're not even able to get there to have access to food, that's definitely going to cause a lot of issues for those individuals. Another item that we noticed was pet food, something that none of us really had thought about, but a lot of these individuals really need pet food, and LSS does not have that built into their budget. They operate on a donation basis only, so it's whatever pet food is donated to them, that's all that they have access to give to the members that are coming. Lastly, we looked at their budget, looked at the invoices that they had. We wanted to get an idea of current inventory, see what things that they have a large stock of, what things they're missing. Unfortunately, they just don't have the volunteer power to be able to keep stock of what's coming in and out on a daily basis. So they more so operate on the aspect of, hey, this shelf looks fairly low, let's go ahead and order more of this, or it looks pretty filled, don't need to worry about it for this month. So with that, we realized that certain needs were certainly unmet. One was pet food, others were certain food staple items, things of that nature. Unfortunately, with LSS, most of their food is coming from the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, so they really don't have the ability to decide, hey, we need X, Y, and Z, and tell the food bank that they need to supply that. It's more whatever Mid-Ohio has, that's what they're able to pick from. So now I'm going to turn it over to Gina to go ahead and provide our recommendations.
So with our focus, we wanted to focus needs on rural and eastern southern areas, offer a mobile pantry open to anyone with increased frequency, consider partnering with some of the local churches and stuff in the area to maybe open a new location. And then we also suggested providing handouts for local resources regarding the pet food, where they can get it, and also for transportation. And provide a more targeted survey so it's more on to what they're looking for. And with that, thank you, Joel and Misty, for working with us and the chambers and all who referred us to this program.
Thank you, and well done. Have you step over to the left? Great. All right, the Lutheran Social Services Food Bank team consists of Bryce Long with JC and Company, Sheena Gibson, Friendly Breed and Banking Center, Eugenia England from Fairfield Center for Independence, and Leslie Dancho from Fairfield County Board of DD. Congratulations, team. And last but not least, I'll invite our small but mighty United Way of Fairfield County team.
How do I do this? This. I obviously don't know how this works. Okay, well, I did. I tried them all. So just the eyes. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon now. Our charity is Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, partnering with the United Way of Fairfield County. Boop. Who we are, Kelly Brown of Fairfield County Health Department, Sarah Collins, Lancaster City Schools, Amber Glenn, Park National Bank, and TJ Martin, who's not here, from Accurate Heating and Cooling. Wrong way. There we go. A little bit about Dolly's Imagination Library. It's a book gifting program that mails free books to children ages 0 to 5 monthly. Launched in 1995 and quickly became nationwide. In 2003, over 1 million books had been sent. And in 2006, it grew globally. And as of as of February of 2025, over 270 million books have been given. How it works. It starts with a local partner, which for Fairfield County is the United Way. United Way is responsible for enrolling kids, promoting locally to drive funding and enrollment, and covering approximately $2.60 per month per child to cover wholesale books and mailing costs. After the United Way enrolls the children into the book order system, Dolly's Imagination Library will coordinate the orders and send the books out for fulfillment. And then the books arrive to the child's home with their name on the label. In Fairfield County, there are approximately 9,071 eligible children under the age of 5. The total cost of the program is currently $78,000 per year. And I would also note that if there is not enough funding, the kids will be placed on a waiting list.
So when we met with United Way, one of the first things we talked about were challenges and goals. How many of you thought that Dolly funded this entire program? Yeah, I know I did at first too. And so we were really shocked to learn that there is a large cost that, even though it's free for families, that falls upon the locals and the state level to raise the funds to ensure that families do get these books. So we wanted to raise more awareness in Fairfield County with what is Dolly's, how the funding works, but being careful that there's a balance, right, of raising awareness but not hindering the participation so that families think, well, I can afford to buy my own books, I shouldn't sign up for this. We also don't want to minimize anything that Dolly has already done and established. She is a brand, she is a diva on things, and we want to make sure that we're still celebrating the ideas of what the heart of Dolly is, which is getting books for early literacy in the hands of families. So one of the things that we were surprised to find is that you can sponsor a child for $31 for a year worth of books, which doesn't seem like a whole lot to help keep kids off of the waiting list. So we wanted to raise more awareness about that in Fairfield County. Increase participation in the program. Obviously, it would be great if 100% of those kids that are qualified and eligible get books. But we also didn't want to focus on that until we had funding, because we don't want the students going or the kids going on the wait list. And then we wanted to focus on increased donations and website integration, getting a QR code that you can go directly to Dolly's and donate for Fairfield County. It was a little clunky sometimes finding and having a long form to fill out to get the donations to go to Fairfield County. So we wanted to make sure that that was a seamless process that folks could donate easily. And some limitations as we thought about all of this is United Way currently only has 3 employees. So we needed some activities that were going to be sustainable with low human capital, but also would provide consistent monthly funds with maybe 1 or 2 yearly larger events with our community partners. So we had a 4-prong approach to this. Number 1, we wanted to purchase Dolly cutouts. We feel like Dolly here raises awareness, and when you see her, your eyes are drawn to her. So we were able to secure 3 additional Dolly cutouts, so now the county has 4. 1 is currently living full-time at the Book Nook, and the other 3 are available to circulate around the county for this. We also wanted to have the display have social media, or on social media, along with a QR code, and you can see an updated one up here, so that you can scan easily to be able to donate. And then we wanted to partner with other local businesses to host Dolly events that hopefully will take some of the logistics off of the United Way folks and get businesses involved where everybody is championing, there we go, literacy in our county. And that hopefully by building a volunteer base, we can help do that as well. And now I'm going to hand it over to Kelly to talk about what all of that looks like.
Okay. When looking at volunteer partners, we wanted to focus on groups that may have a vested interest in early literacy and reading. Our suggestions would be reaching out to OUL's education program for teaching candidates, but also seeing if they already partner with some retired teachers that are passionate. That may be able to champion Dolly's mission and support the United Way employees as well. We are also suggesting a survey link for getting a consistent volunteer base. They currently have several volunteers for their tax program, but not a consistent base of volunteers. We also are suggesting reaching out to assisted living, retirement centers, Olivedale, all being able to do different items for them so they can focus on other things. Okay, for promotional partners, we looked at existing groups that could use their connections to raise awareness and/or funds. These partners could take a larger role in planning and sponsoring events in conjunction and/or solely by themselves. Examples: partnering with Destination Downtown to have Dolly-related activities. Maybe the Glass Museum or Art and Clay having an event or workshops for, you know, a glass butterfly or a bookend or a guitar. And making a portion of those proceeds for Dolly. Our group discussed partnering with Parks and Rec, the library, the Book Nook, Fairfield County Health Department, to get more awareness about the program. And hopes to also incorporate guest readers at those locations, the library, Parks and Recs, that would include in Dolly's reading books included in Dolly's distribution. The last couple that we hope to collaborate with is Blue Label in creating maybe some stickers for kids at different events. And more of a social media with WLOH and crowd communication, just spreading awareness of the program and the cost for the county. And finally, for events, our group took in consideration that United Way is a staff of 4 fully staffed, which in the last few years hasn't been much of the time. And for our program, they were minus a position for the majority. So first we discussed low resource themed events, such as Dancing with Dolly. It could be local kids dance studios, YMCA, AHA, library branches. Staying with the same theme, we talked of the idea of getting down with Dolly, an adult evening at establishments anywhere in Fairfield County offering music and entertainment. Brews for Books, incorporating at coffee shops and or breweries. Okay. All events, we could go on and on with ideas and events, and we'll be meeting with United Way to provide further details about what all events we discussed. Suggestions for large plan events, a Dolly Day, maybe a scavenger hunt using children's books related clues to spot Dolly at 12, 15 Fairfield County locations, where you would form a team, come up with a fun team name, and if you find out the locations, you would go into a drawing for maybe a traveling trophy, bragging rights. An evening event we also discussed was an evening celebrating Dolly. That could include the showing of the library that Dolly built, but also having kids' activities, whether it's like musical bingo, word searches, face painting. We also discussed having an evening in any of these events where it's a dress up, the best dressed Dolly. And, okay, and for conclusions?
We would like to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for providing this opportunity, as well as to the United Way. We really look forward to seeing where Dolly goes in this community and what she brings to be able to foster early literacy to our students and therefore our community. Again, look for the new QR codes for easy donations around, and let's champion books from 0 to 5. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations, group. Well done. All right. So the United Way of Fairfield County, we had working on that team Sarah Collins from Lancaster City Schools, Kelly Brown from Fairfield County Health Department, and Amber Glenn from Park National Bank. Congratulations, team. All right, that concludes our final presentations. I want to thank everybody that came out to support our program today, all the employers, again, that sponsored an individual in the program. And I just want to commend those that participated in our program again this year. That was a wonderful round of presentations. A lot of thought went into that. I know a lot of time went into it. And I got to tell you, serving on a lot of different nonprofit organizations, including running our own, it really is helpful to have groups like this come in and give a different perspective, provide thoughts and suggestions on some of the challenges that we all work with in the nonprofit world. So thank you. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Going into next year, it's exciting. We will be celebrating our 40th year of Fairfield leadership. Going back in the records, we estimate that there's been over 700 individuals participate in this program, many of them going on to become leaders and CEOs and presidents of some of our biggest companies in town. We're very proud of this program. We look forward to keeping it alive for many, many years. But it's the organizations like you all out there and the people that are willing to participate in it that truly make it happen. So thank you again. Thank you all for coming out. I will ask our participants to come up. We're going to take a big group picture. And don't forget, we've got a little get together at Double Edge here in a little bit, okay?